Hello and welcome. I am testing out the cases for the first online round of the Microsoft Excel Collegiate Challenge. So it looks like in this round there are going to be three different cases. We've got Kickoff, we've got Meal Plan, and we've got Data Mix-Up. I took a quick flip through to check. It looks like it's an hour allocated for the total case, and the first two cases are weighted a little more on points, and the last one a little bit less, but they're all kind of pretty similar. So my plan is I'm going to record separate videos for each of them just to make it a little bit more bite-size, so you don't have to watch me slog through it for an hour. And somewhat at random, and just because I generally like data manipulation things, I'm going to start with data mix-up. Usual warning, I'm trying it live. I won't necessarily come back and record corrections later, but if I get something wrong that I know of, then I'll include something in the video notes of either what went wrong or what I should have done or whatever. All right, enough chit chat. Data mix-up. Okay, the football data and meal plan case got mixed up. Oh, okay, so hang on. This might mean that I need to do these other two cases first for this to make any sense. Okay, so kickoff. You are the star player of your football team. Track the movements of the ball across plays. We'll expand this text later. Fair enough. That's what it looks like when it's in development. All right, I'll jump into the levels first, but let's just look at what the bonuses are. Just sometimes that informs the strategy a little bit. What's the number of plays that move only left minus the number of plays that move only right across all plays in level 1? All right, that doesn't seem so bad. Okay, so probably help to have all the arrows laid out somewhere, and it looks like we don't, so I'm going to just do that myself. So let's just grab some big blob of them and hope that that contains everything. We'll soon figure out if it does or doesn't. That's 8, good, so that is all of them. Copy paste that. Say it sorts them in clockwise order, I guess, which is fine. And I'll probably want to augment that, but for now I'll just leave it at that. So the question is all right versus all left. Anyway, sorry, I said I was going to do the main levels first and then I got distracted. Which number appears most often across all plays? That's fine. Well, the sum of all the starting row numbers in level 3. Fine. How many cells are on the field are in an end zone, the yellow colored cells, and on how many plays in level 6 and 7 is movement limited by out of bounds? Okay. Ooh, this could be heavy. All right, what is the number of plays that move only leftward minus the number of... Wait, this is the bonus question. Sorry, here we are. First two plays move diagonally, and the third play moves vertically. Fourth play moves only to... Okay, got it. I'm just going to, for convenience, I'm going to name this... I'll just call it LF for left and RT for right. So then I want... How many of these are, what did it say, left minus right? Left arrow, only leftward minus only rightward. So count if LF minus count if, and if the same thing, G51 AE 51 RT. And just check that that does match there. Okay, so, and then I guess this was just applying it to the whole level. Okay, fine. So that's not as complicated as I thought. So let's put this up here. And the last row it gets to is 70. So I just need to expand that range. Okay. All right, level 2. What is the total amount of movement across all 25 plays? For each play, arrows indicate the direction of movement, and number indicates the number of cells moved. Count a numeric value of 1 as one cell movement regardless of the direction. Okay, so we're just summing up the numbers, I think. Diagonal movement that moves 2 cells upward and 2 cells right. So yes, fine. So we're just summing up the numbers. So I'm just going to name this. Actually, I was going to name this a range and then use text after that, but actually, if they're always at the start, then I can just use mid. So we just say sum of mid of all this, starting at position 2 and whatever 10 times 1 to convert it into a number. So let's just look at what this is doing. I'm always conscious that I jump a little fast when I'm doing these university ones. So the mid starting at the second character gives you, skip the first character, which is the arrow. So here it gives you 3, here it gives you 2, here it gives you 8, here it gives you 1. So we just come up here and highlight that again. you can see 3281 da 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 da, but you can also see that they are in quotes because they're text. So then we multiply the number in quotes by 1. That gives us an actual number, and we can sum those up. So let's just quickly check. Yes, that's right. And what was the bonus question here? Which number appears most often across all the plays in level 2, excluding the examples? Okay. I'm going to come back to that one. I know how to do it, but it's a little more complicated, so let's try and do some more straightforward stuff first. What is the net amount of side-to-side movement, net left versus right? Okay. I'm missing this. Oh, whoops, you accidentally included the answer. But wait, so I guess it's pointing to, what is it? Oh, right, it must be pointing to some calculated cells that don't exist anymore. Anyway, okay. So this is what I figured. So we've got our arrow, then we've got our left-right movement. So this is 0, this is 1 to the right, this is 1 to the right, 1 to the right, this is 0, and this is -1, because these are going to the left. And I'll just call that LR. So then way back down here, I'm just going to insert a couple of rows here so you can see what I'm doing. So first I'm going to be interested in mid of this to 10. And then I'm going to be interested in XLOOKUP left. Well, let's break it down. Let's do left of this. You can say left 1, but if you just say left with no second argument, it takes 1 by default. Then we're going to XLOOKUP all of these in the arrows returning from LR. And that gives us that. And then it's just going to be, well, again, let's be verbose. Spread everything out. It's going to be this times this. It's going to give us that. And then we're going to sum it up. Sum all of that, and it gives us 36. Oh, yes, we just want an absolute. All right. So you could kind of spread it out like that, or if you feel comfortable, you can just smash it all together. So we can say sum of. We're gonna take the number, which is mid of this, by 2 by. It looks like they're all 1 digit, but I'm just going to go 10 to be safe. And then we're going to multiply that by XLOOKUP left of the same range in R returning from LR. And then wrap it in an absolute value. Okay. I'm not sure I'm going to get this done in 20 minutes if these keep getting harder, but let's see. What is the sum of all the starting row numbers in level 3? I don't think there are starting row numbers, and that must be thinking of a different level. Okay, well, let's assume it's thinking of a different level. No, hang on, what is going on here? Oh, yeah, no, okay, could be thinking of these starting numbers. Okay, so see the field in the worksheet named field, inbounds, end zone, out of bounds. So I'm just going to, like this is pretty blocky, so I'm just going to say I for inbound, E for end zone. Yeah. And O. So Control G, Alt S, go to blanks and put O for out of bounds in all of those. And then I'll call this field, I guess. Do I want to call this field? Let's say that I do. And then I'm also going to just this and this. I'm going to call that address, EDD for address. Anything else I want? Yeah, I'm going to call this colnum. Call this rownum. Okay. So if the out of bounds restricts movement in one direction, it does not restrict movement in the other direction. Sorry, plays cannot go out of bounds. If the out of bounds restricts movements in one direction, it does not restrict. Okay, got it. All right, so hang on. First of all, this is in fact B5. Okay, fine. So first of all, I want the start row. There's something weird going on with the formatting. start call. So lots of ways you can do this. One would be, oh my god, the format is weird here as well. One would be to say, wait, is there, I don't know what is going on here. Anyway, a bit of stuff to clean up, but no worries. Okay, so one way to do it is to say row. It's very annoying. My tab is still working just a little tiny bit slower than usual. Row of indirect of that. So indirect of that just gives you a reference to the cell whose address is that, and then you can take the row of that. Or when we have this address set up over here, we could say sum of if ADD equals this, then row num. That gives you the same thing, and you can say sum of if ADD equals this, then column. The tab is killing me, just killing me. Oh no, I called it. That wasn't tab's fault that time. Never mind. Okay, so that's the start row, start call. Then num shift LR UD, and that means we need to fill in up down in our lookup table here as well. So let's do that. UD. So I'm going to treat up as -1, so that's -1, that's -1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, -1. I'm going to call that UD. And come back down to where I was, which is here. Oops, where have I gone? Okay, then my num shift is mid of this to, let's just say 10 times 1. My left right is XLOOKUP left, so left to extract the arrow here, XLOOKUP that in arrows returning from LR, and then same thing returning from UD. So then I want my end row and call. So what is my range? My rows have to end up between 8 and 27. So hang on. Plays cannot go out of bounds. If out of bounds restricts movement in one direction, it's so if a play starts in K12 and the play called for move 6 cells up and right. Okay, so in other words, it goes as far as it can in each direction independently. Fine. So just starting point would be start row plus 8 times the up down, and the end call will be the start call plus num shift times the left right. And then we're saying this is out of bounds. Yes, because you can't go above row 8. So then the row has to be between 8 and 27. So I'm just going to make this median of that and 8 and 27. It's just a handy way to lock something between two ranges. And here has to be between 5 and 64. So same thing here, median, this 5, 64. And then I just want an ending address, and that you can use the address function to turn a row number and a column number into an address, and just optional argument 4 to say don't include $signs. So if you leave out the optional argument, it'll give you an absolute reference with $signs like that, but we don't want that, so we'll just do that. Okay, so then that matches the example, so presumably we're working. Let's copy this all down and link it in. Okay, there are 3 more levels. This is not shaping up to a 20-minute question for me. Okay, in what cell within the field are we after 5 plays? Okay, fine. So it would be smoother if this could be, if this transformation from here to here could all be a lambda. But let's see what the next couple of things are. So we have after 5 plays here. First 5, 20. Okay. cell address in which the game ends. What does that mean? Okay, so in other words, after 25. Fine. So then it's definitely going to be Lambdasville. Determine the first play that is a touchdown for each game. Okay. All right, so I definitely want a lambda that's going to take this and calculate this. So let's do it. So let's just say let st be this, and play be this, and st row be, I'm just going to do it the other way, row of indirect of st, and st call the column of indirect of st. Okay. Then end row is going to be, sorry, no, I need my shift. It's going to be 1 times mid PL to 10. And my end row is going to be the median of something and something, and start row plus shift times XLOOKUP. And I guess let's do dir can be left of play. So we're going to XLOOKUP dir in our returning from for the rows up down. And then likewise my end call is going to be the median of two things, which I got to go check in a second, and then st call plus shift times XLOOKUP dir in R returning from LR. And then finally I want address of end row end call 4. Okay, so then I need to find what these medians are, and the answer is there for the row it's 827, and for the column it is 564. Okay, and this is just a weird format thing again. Fine. Okay, then I want to convert that into a lambda of st and pl. Okay, so we're going to add a new thing. It's going to be play, and it's going to be that. Okay, and that should be the perfect setup to plug into a reduce. But let's just start by saying we're going to play of this and this. And again with the formatting weirdness, but okay, yes, that seems to be working. So now let's do this. I want to do a reduce, starting from here, running through all of these, and this function is play, and that gets us to BB17, which matches. So, and then next level is, I think, the same thing again. But now we have a bigger range, so instead of going to L, we're going out to AF. And that seems to work, at least it matches the example, touch wood. Okay, and then finally determine the first play that is a touchdown. All right, so for this one, we're going to want to scan rather than... Okay, so let's do this. Let's start with scan. Initial value is this. The array is this. The function is play. That gives us all the addresses in between. And then for each of these, well, sorry, let's just start. For one of these, I want to figure out if that's in the end zone. And I think the easiest way is just to do a countifs where the field is that and the end zone is that. And actually, I don't even need a map for that. Sorry, so I think I can say countifs where the field is E and the address is all of this stuff. And there it is. Okay, so then I can grab this here. And then I think I just need to X match 1 against that. Okay, so we almost made it in 20 minutes, although I think I did it by deploying some, could only be described as pretty heavy machinery, and I definitely lost that thing I was trying to do at the start where I was like, this is for university kids, I'll take it slow and explain. Yeah, this is not an easy case to do in 20 minutes. Okay, so which number appears most often across all plays in level 2? So, I think first thing I'm going to do is I just want to know, I was allowing for 10 digits, but it's just eyeballing them. I think these are all actually, yeah, they're all 2. So then I'm just interested in the right. So I can say to call of right of this. So that just takes the right piece of each one and flattens them all out. So you've got just one big list of 500 numbers. And then lots of ways you can go from here. Probably the easiest is to say unique of those, which is probably just all the numbers from 1 to 9. Wrap it in a sort to be sure, and sure enough it is. Then we can say countifs of this by this. And I think the question was which is the most, so it looks like the answer is 8. So that's one way to do it, or you can be a little fancier if you feel that way, and use, actually, sorry, let me stay down here. Where was I? If you have it, it just hit the main channel, I think, like this week, that you can group by. So you can group these label fields and these values, and you just want to know how many rows there are, and that'll give you that. And by default, it sorts them in order, but you can drop the totals. I don't even need to just drop everything in between and put -2 to sort in descending order, and then you can just throw an @ on it to take the top left cell of that. That will be the thing that occurs most often, and that is that 8. And then we might need to multiply that by 1, depending on whether it's expecting a number format or not. Okay, well, that's switch number, so I'm going to multiply by 1 just to be safe. Okay, what is the sum of all the starting row numbers in level 3? I think this means in level 4. I'm just going to highlight that and put 4 question mark here. So where are they? They are here. And oh yeah, I have a column with the starting row numbers, so I just need to sum of those. Okay, how many cells on the football field are in the end zone? We've already tagged those, so that's just countifs field E. And on, wait, 200? That sounds like a lot. Really? No, this thing is bigger than I thought. I've just zoomed out a bunch. It is 200. Okay. On how many plays in level 6 and 7, excluding examples, is movement limited by out of bounds? So I think the way that I would handle this is the way my lambda worked, it's just constraining everything as it goes along. So that's not helpful for this. But I think the way I would deal with it is to just modify my lambda to not have the out of bounds and then see where it changes. So I called it play. So I'm just going to copy that. Drop it in here. Sorry, don't drop it in a cell with stuff in it. Put it in here. So you can see it loses the formatting, but never mind. So I'm just going to get rid of the median piece. I need a closing bracket of that. Yep. And then here, I'm going to get rid of the median piece as well. So this is going to give me the unconstrained directions, and I'm just going to see where those differ. So I'm just going to call that play unc for unconstrained. Okay, so then I just want to know, instead of reduce, I can use scan to give me all the bits along the way. And what I want to know is if I scan that and scan the same thing with play unc, are they always the same? And I can see here right away there's a difference. I just wrap that in and, no, wrap it in with a successful tab to autocomplete. I got a false, and yeah, value is also fine. So so value, I believe, means that it's trying to get to a cell that doesn't exist. So yeah, from AR4, so let's see, after 7 moves, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yes, you try to go up 8 cells from row 4, and that is something that doesn't exist, and so this just errors out. But again, if it errors out at any point, that means that the two do differ. So I'm just going to say if error, false. Now the question was, how many times is it? It looks like it's constrained every time. I wonder if I'm misunderstanding the question. Maybe it means on how many individual moves. Yeah, every single one of them is constrained. Okay. On how many plays? Yes. Oh, crud. Well, that's harder. Gosh, I'm already at 26 minutes. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm going to keep doing this because I'm doing a video on this one case right now, but I would definitely stop and move on at this point because this is getting hard. I probably need a totally different layout for this to work. So I guess one way to do it would be this. We could say scan from the start. Oops, sorry, there we go. Through all the moves by play. So that's all the places we actually are. And then I just want to know for each of these. So I want to map this start and this move. Is that right? Yeah, no, not quite. Sorry. So yeah, then I want to H-stack the starting position with all of these positions except the last one. Drop that last column. So this is going to give me where I started from for each one of these. So from Q21 I went to R20, from R20 I went to Z27, etc. And so what I want to say is, starting from these, going forward by these moves, do I end up in these places or not? And like I said, it's getting pretty complicated, but then I think I can say map these starting positions, these things, and I want to use play unconstrained. And so then the question is that equal to this? So say let, we'll call it orig moves, be all that stuff, and oops, then the starts going to be H-stack that with orig moves. Then new moves, call it unconstrained moves, will be map of starts and this array of arrows and play unc. And what I want is orig moves equals unc moves. And then I just want to know how many times that is true. So I'm going to say sum of minus minus, all that stuff. All right, so that is for that one. Fine. So we're going to say if error. Wait, sorry. I don't even want 1 minus. I want to know where, let's do minus minus where they're different. And we'll do if error. So if any one of them throws an error, that means that they are different. So I want to add that to this. I don't know. My confidence in that is pretty low. This is a case where the array setup is not as helpful as if you had spread it out. Whoa, what did I do here? Must have broken something. Oh, yeah, sorry. I meant I deleted my to-call to clear space for something else, so I meant to just put that into the formula. So we'll do to-call right of this. No, go away. All right, so sum down as far as level 6, out to the end, and I think that this is my answer, but like I said, relatively low confidence in that. All right, I'm going to hit pause for a sec to see if I can check these answers, see if there's anything howlingly wrong. Okay, pleasantly surprised to find that my answers were correct. So you could tell that I was not super confident by the time we got to this last one. But anyway, yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm wondering. I mean, obviously the crazy way that I tried to do level 6 and 7 was far from ideal, and was just kind of a product of being somewhat boxed in by the way I had set it up to there. But on the other hand, setting it up with the lambda made it very breezy to go through, like to go from level 4 to level 5, 6, 7 in rapid succession. So I don't know. I mean, time over again, it would almost certainly be, there'd be a smarter way to optimize or something, but I'm not sure. That I'm never sure whether that was the right approach or not. But anyway, it's a way, and it's probably different from the way you were thinking of, because it's crazy. But that's what I got. I might just keep on doing them right now in succession, but I'll be back in my next video with the next case, which is meal plan. That's what I got for today. Thanks for watching. See you next time.